welcome to the season finale of Yip Ip.
Woo!
Yeah!
Congrats!
Surprise!
Surprise! It's the season finale!
Bet you weren't expecting that one.
Yeah.
We were barely expecting that.
Wow, these last 2 episodes have just been, guess what we're doing tonight, guys?
Right, yeah.
About 10 minutes before we recorded, both times.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
almost like we've been lazier and lazier.
It's almost like this freakish global pandemic has thrown everything into a tailspin.
Well,
Yeah.
We just don't know what to do with ourselves anymore.
Depending on who you ask.
That's true.
Yeah.
hey, whoa. Do you guys hear that?
Is it me sounding
Yes.
110% better than I have?
It's exactly what it
Yes.
sounds like.
Because we're all not social distancing and we're in studio together again.
In the podcast.
Yeah.
I broke into
together.
their house because I couldn't take it anymore.
We didn't want to assault your ears with her audio quality anymore.
Jessica just showed up and broke into our house and was like, guys, let's just record tonight. Don't worry, we won't have to do this again. We're just going to do the season finale right now. And I was like, Thomas, she's here. We might as well do it.
Yes. Yeah.
We have to humor her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as Thomas was saying, the movies aren't making any effort. So
Yeah. Movie production companies aren't putting any effort in, so why should we?
yeah, that's what's happening, guys.
Yeah.
We
Well,
quit.
let's give them a little more than that.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
Okay, I suppose we could explain ourselves.
okay. Go ahead.
So,
Jess. Oh, that's Jessica.
yeah, that's Nikki.
And I'm Thomas.
And I'm quitting.
And this is Your Princess is Problematic, the season finale episode.
Right.
Yes.
Officially, but unofficially.
The unofficial.
Yeah.
So
official,
we'll walk you through our thought process here before you get too bummed out and or excited, depending on how you feel about our podcast.
Don't worry, we are actually going to talk about Scoob.
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've been thinking that we've been having a particular time feeling motivated to not only talk about movies, but just sit down and watch movies
Yes.
in general.
I think it's more difficult to sit down and watch a movie right now
Right.
than it is
Yes.
to find time to talk about it.
Yes.
Because I like the social aspect of us talking about it more than I like sitting down and watching a movie and talking,
yeah,
writing,
it
taking notes
feels-
about it right now.
Yeah.
Right.
We've got a lot going
Just because
on.
of what's going on at this particular moment in time, in the now times, as another podcast calls
Yeah,
it.
so
Yes.
so what's happening is Nikki's company is kind of taking off again after
like a rocket
rising like a phoenix from the ashes of COVID-19. When this whole thing started, we were very unsure of what our future was going to be
Yeah.
with face painting, because obviously getting in children's faces is not a realistic thing. So face painting was clearly off the table for the unforeseeable future. But we did recently come into another means of business.
Yeah.
It's selling weed.
Wow.
It's not. My drug business.
Yeah. No, it's much more addictive than that. We're selling balloons.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It's very fun, actually.
It is actually really fun. It's something we're all kind of interested in, but it is taking up a surprising amount of time
Yes.
and sleeping hours.
Yeah,
it's
it's-
weird. It's like working a third shift job.
It is. It's very much the opposite of what face painting was, because face painting was very, hey, it's the weekend and it's like a Saturday or Sunday, smack dab in the middle of the afternoon. You have parties from basically noon until 5. But this job is you're up from the kids go to bed, and then you're building the balloons for the deliveries in the morning from 9 o'clock until 1 in the morning sometimes. And then you're waking up at 6 in the morning and delivering the balloons until 8 in the morning, maybe.
Right.
So it's like exhausting,
Yeah.
kind of. But then your whole day is free, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
Yeah.
So we kind of just stumbled into it, and we didn't really expect it to take off quite as much like a fucking rocket as it has.
It seriously
Right.
has.
Yeah.
Much
so-
like the cool rocket topper we just recently got that we're
Yeah,
very
I'm so
excited to
excited
put on
about that
top
one.
of a balloon.
Our days are kind of spent, Nikki in particular, is spending her days kind of between watching the kids while Thomas is working, and
I'm
also
working from home right now, so I
Yeah.
can't super help. I help a little. I help when I can.
He helps a lot. I
During
mean, as
the
much
day.
as he can. He
Yeah,
but I
definitely-
do
But not
have,
during work
I do
hours.
have to be available for my work during
Yeah.
work hours.
And I'm swimming in a sea of emails all
Yeah.
day. Like
Man, we're
drowning in
swamped.
emails.
Yeah,
with-
Nikki is constantly on the computer, on her phone, answering emails.
Yeah.
And like setting up, like she had to completely redesign her website for her business. She's been watching tutorials on how to make all this shit that we're making right now. She's been incredibly busy.
Yes.
You guys are so.
I'm proud of you.
You guys.
I'm very proud of her.
Stop. You guys. Stop it. I'm going to just hide in my hoodie and my cocoon right now. You guys are making me blush. Anyway.
But
It's been a lot.
yeah, and we're not getting much sleep in the evening times because of staying up late making balloons and waking up early.
Yeah.
Like sometimes if it's a fair distance away, you know. I think there was a day when I woke up at 4 and it was the day I was like, I'm gonna fucking quit today.
Was that the Durand and Brighton one with the gated community and the
Yeah, I think
zombie
so.
child staring
Yeah.
at you in the window?
Yeah. It's definitely been interesting. But
It's a big switch. It's been a big switch for sure.
yes, it's definitely an adjustment that we're not quite. We haven't quite figured out how to fit
It's an
watching
interesting flow.
movies
Yeah.
into this new work schedule and life schedule that we have. And then, of course, there's also the beautiful quarantine depression.
Right.
You know, that everybody's kind of in right now, which also sucks the motivation out of
And
everything.
like the rare nights where I don't have to build a balloon in the evening or answer emails in the evening, honestly, like I'm like, I don't want to sit down and watch a movie and take notes. I want to
want to
like
watch
go
a movie that I want to watch.
Yeah, like I just want to go and sit down
another
and watch
kid's
TV,
movie. Yeah.
or I just want to relax for a little bit and not take notes, or I just want.
Yeah. I will
know?
say, I think that this was also a big factor in us, like, not being. It was so different, like, being apart from each other.
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. Because
Like-
this is already feeling.
I know.
I like this a lot better.
Yeah, just sitting together right now, I'm like, man, I don't want
Which is weird because we could see each other. We were still talking to each other.
It's way more fun.
Yeah. No.
Never mind, guys. We're not quitting. I'm just kidding.
It feels like home right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, realistically speaking, the time is just not available to us to do this on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So our thoughts are that we will, for this summer, take a break.
Yes.
Not permanently,
We're not quitting.
We're not quitting.
but we're not going to have a guaranteed set schedule either. So we're going to be releasing episodes as
When
we
we feel like it.
inspired to do so.
Yep.
Yeah.
if there's a week that's particularly slow and none of us have a lot going on and we're just like, hey guys, want to do, where are we in Pimmissin? Do you want to do the next Pimmissin?
Or if it's a movie that we feel passionate
Yeah,
about,
or
like
just
Wonder Woman or Mulan.
Yeah,
if
or
the
something.
Mulan
Then we're
movie gets
definitely gonna do
released out
those.
on
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it and we'll drop it. So keep following us on social media, and you know we'll post when we're about to drop something, or we'll post that we've dropped something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Or
so
if you're subscribed, if you
you're
stay subscribed,
to
you'll get a
us,
notification.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
see that it's comes up. Yeah,
Yeah,
Probably
so-
just do the subscribe thing. Actually, that's
Yeah,
going to
that's
be your
gonna
best
be the
bet
easiest.
because we don't always post.
We're not good at social media.
We're really
Really not.
really not good at social media.
That's also another thing we don't have time for. So yeah.
Yeah,
Subscribe.
my most important social media is my business social media. I barely even post on my personal social media. Sorry,
We love you guys, but dang, this has hit us hard financially, and so
Yeah.
we gotta catch up to
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to play catch up for the 3 months of birthday parties that canceled on us. So, damn the
Right.
COVID.
Yeah. So yeah, we're not quitting. We
Yes.
we actually do still like recording.
we do.
Yeah.
I still love our podcast.
Yes.
And I would like to come back to it eventually
just-
when the
yeah.
season slows down.
We just don't really have the motivation or the time to commit to it right now.
Right.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So we're gonna take it more cash
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna be super chill.
for
Just
for the now times.
slide into your DMs all
Yeah.
surprisingly.
But you know, in the meantime, listen to all the episodes that we've done so far.
Yeah, binge. We're highly bingeable, guys.
Super bingeable. And you know,
There's 40 episodes out there, guys.
yeah.
And only the first 3 are very, very bad.
Yes.
So
Specifically Space Jam. We're sorry.
sorry.
Yeah. And Poor Space Jam.
Poor Space Jam.
Space Jam. If
It was
you have
so good, but so bad.
if you have the patience to listen to Space Jam and just listen really hard,
I mean, now
it's
that
funny.
look, if they were able to listen to socially distanced episodes, they might be able to handle Space Jam now.
Yeah.
That's true.
Just imagine how Jess sounded that episode, but all of us sounding.
I think that we sounded worse in that episode than Jess has sounded spatial distancing.
I was in space this whole time. Surprise.
Just like that rocket and that
Yeah.
balloon we just got.
And just like my Star Citizen character.
Exactly. Nerd.
They just launched a rocket yesterday, didn't they? Too?
Today. Yeah,
they launched-
SpaceX just launched a couple astronauts to the space station. It's really cool.
SpaceX.
Double nerd.
Yeah. I accept it.
Yeah.
I embrace it.
We're all nerds.
They launched a rocket today.
Yeah.
We should have done the rocket topper
Come on.
and just like posted it
Beans.
on social media anyway. Just
Beans, guys. You really wanged it.
All right, let's talk about Scoob so I can go to bed.
Oh, do we have to?
Right.
Hold
we
on,
don't
let
have
me
to spend a lot of time.
look
on
at
this.
how many notes he has, Jess. Oh my God.
Well, that's about a page and a half more than I have.
Let me see. What do I got here? I got.
Let me take a drink of water while you
Go
guys
for
are
it.
doing that.
That's it. And that's Simon. So
I can't wait to get to that part so we can tell Thomas what our car conversation was.
all right.
Were you guys texting mid-movie?
No, it was what we
were
said in the
talking-
car on the
we were
way
talking
down.
on the way down to
Oh,
get
I need to take this sweatshirt off.
Nikki and Thomas's new children.
Yeah, we got kittens today, guys.
got kittens
I'm
today.
indifferent towards it. It's fine.
He secretly is like, he was peeking in and he was like, yeah, they're pretty cute. I'll give them that. And I'm like, yeah, you love these things.
He's gonna be all about them.
Yep, you're going to be a cat dad.
He's gonna love him, and they're gonna love him because of his beard. He's gonna be
Actually, it's because he is indifferent, they are going to be on him like white on rice.
I know, right?
He's going to be their favorite.
Yep.
That's just how cats
Yep.
are.
Yep.
So, Scoob.
So Scoob.
So Scooby-Doo, which is normally in the 70s, but it's in 2001.
Is it?
2000 and late.
It's 2000.
Is
It's 2020, but also 2001.
But also 2005?
But also maybe like 1995.
But also in the future?
I don't understand when we are in this movie at all.
What the fuck is the timeline of this movie? It makes no sense.
What the fuck was this movie, you guys? But wait, don't get into it yet. Time out. What is everybody's experience in general with Scooby-Doo?
Oh.
I wanted to ask that question at
Okay.
least.
Okay. I'll go first because I don't have an extensive history with Scooby-Doo.
Like, I mean, Scooby-Doo is like the franchise as a whole.
I know
okay.
what you mean.
Okay.
So,
Not this horrible movie that we're about to discuss.
So, as a kid, I would catch episodes of Scooby-Doo like intermittently, and I'd never really like was concerned enough to like watch a whole like series. It was just like, and I mean, it's an episodic show, and you don't really need to. You get the basic gist, and every episode it's the same basically. So I was aware of Scooby-Doo. I understand the cultural references to Scooby-Doo, and I didn't dislike it, but it was just a show. I didn't get to watch much TV as a kid, as I think I've already mentioned. I think I was more interested in
Like
movies.
Yeah.
So I'm aware of it. I just don't feel like a very strong connection to Scooby-Doo on the whole. How about you, Nikki?
Also, same, pretty much. Like, it was a show that if it was on and I happened to be watching TV and it happened to be a slightly interesting one, I was like, I guess I'll continue to sit and watch it. I guess. But also, I was like, it's going to be somebody in a mask, and the guy's going to say, I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you blank kids.
Yeah.
And so it
You fucking kids.
I was just like, and occasionally there was another dog named Scrappy Doo, and I didn't really understand when he was there and when he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And
I didn't understand his whole dynamic either.
Yeah, I didn't really get it. So it wasn't. I have a Scooby Doo costume that I bought from like Halloween City, like in college, that I've kept forever. I use it for Halloween often because it's like a really warm onesie with like the big head.
Yeah, it was a union suit before the union suits were cool.
Yeah, it really was. I got it because I dressed up with my friends like as the Scooby Doo gang.
Oh, cute.
And I was just like, I'll be Scooby. That looks warm as fuck. You guys can wear the super sheer, crappy, cold stuff outside. I'll be in the warm costume. I'm not an idiot. We live in Michigan.
Right.
And I was warm and they were cold, suckers. I'm that smart kid. But otherwise, yeah, it's just been a whatever for me.
Tomas?
Yeah. I think I watched it.
Okay.
I feel kind of like a Jessica with this because I don't really remember. I remember watching it, sort of. It definitely was not on my list of favorite shows like Batman and X-Men and stuff. But I remember watching it sometimes. Like, I know who the characters are. I know that Scrappy, well, I think Scrappy is like Scooby's cousin or something.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, it never was really my favorite or anything. I just know what it is. And then I was talking to Evie one time, and then somehow Scooby-Doo came up.
Okay.
And then she was like, "Oh, a talking dog?"
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then we found Scooby on Netflix and had her watch it. And now she loves Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Okay.
She does have us, and this is before the movie, so.
Yeah. So we watched it a lot on Netflix with her. And there's another Scooby-Doo movie on Netflix that's called Zombie Island or something.
Oh, okay.
It's much better.
Much better. Like the movies actually. Like it's funny. Like it's actually kind of funny.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
I was kind of indifferent towards it.
Yeah.
I know what it is and I like some of it. But yeah, Evie really likes it.
Yeah. And last night when we were deciding about renting this on Google Play, it was $19.99 to rent it or $24.99 to buy it. And so I was like, well, might as well buy it because Evie's going to want to watch it more than once probably. So we bought it.
This movie was $25.
It's a lot of money for this movie.
That's
because
a
it was
big ask, dude. Yeah.
That's because it was a direct to because it was a direct to the.
We could have waited.
Oh, what a gut punch.
I know. I know.
We could have waited like 3 weeks and rented it for $3 probably.
Yeah, I know. But
look, we were so young and naive then.
Fools. I mean, even if we would have rented it for $20, that would have been insane. That's an insane rent price too.
It absolutely is.
Because usually to rent the movies, it's like $5 or $6.
Yeah. Oh, there's live action movies too. And I've
I've seen some of the live action.
I've seen the first one.
Yeah, I've seen the first one.
Is it Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Yes,
Gellar
Freddie
as,
Prinze Jr.
Because that's when they met, right?
Yeah.
That's how they met.
As
Daphne.
Daphne. And then Matthew Lillard is Shaggy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Matthew Lillard. Like now, have you ever seen Good Girls?
Yeah.
The new show that he's on
I've
with.
seen bits and pieces of it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
He seems like a cool dude. Yeah.
He's good on that. He was on Scream too, like 1997 movie. Yeah.
Yes, we know what Scream is.
I don't know why I fucking.
Although
it's not like it was a small indie movie.
I will say, anytime somebody talks about Scream, my brain automatically says scary movie. Like that series. I'm like, no, the real one.
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, so
movie. This movie. What the fuck is the timeline of this movie?
What even is this whole movie?
Because it's like all of the references are like early 2000s.
It's like,
but they all have like current generation smartphones and future technology. It's like they started to write this movie back in the early 2000s and then they just kept all the jokes and everything and then they didn't make the movie until now. They didn't have the funding and the approval. It's like they found a script from 2002 and then just did that.
Right.
Basically. This movie is just like a weird clusterfuck of like what is trying to be meta, I think, and it's not really succeeding because they never explain like why it's meta. Like,
there's only one time where they're being meta where I'm like, okay, yeah. And then the rest of it is just like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much 90% of this movie I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then I would zone out for
Right.
a little while. So this movie, did you have any facts about this movie, by the way? Not
No,
that I'm
I didn't look
particularly
up any
interested,
trivia.
but
Or
yeah.
anything
Yeah, not
about
that I
it.
care at all.
I didn't look up any
joke.
trivia about it. I just looked up the cast is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Did you want to go into that now?
Sure.
Get it out of the way.
Let's do it.
So, did you guys recognize any
I
of
didn't
the
look at the cast.
cast?
Like I said, when the credits were rolling, I glanced up and caught who Shaggy was, and then I went back to making my balloon. So I saw that Shaggy was Will Forte.
Yes.
Who's that?
Of SNL fame.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Blue Falcon is Mark Wahlberg.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Jason Isaacs is Dick Dastardly.
What?
Him from Patriot.
Huh.
And also from Harry Potter,
Yes.
Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah, Lucius.
That's Lucius Malfoy?
That's
Yes.
Lucius. Yeah,
He's way cuter in
way
person.
Cute in person, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's cuter in person like he's
daddy
not
in person, like for sure.
Velma is Jane the Virgin.
Really?
Wow.
That's who that is, right?
They did give her
Wow.
a Latinx
That's who
vibe,
that is,
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Fred is Zac Efron.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't. I recognize his voice, but I didn't recognize him as Zac Efron. I'm like, I know the voice, but I don't know who it is.
Daphne is Amanda Seyfried.
Okay.
Mean Girls?
Yeah. There's a 90% chance that it's already raining. Yeah.
Then Dino Mutt is Ken Jeong.
Ah! Nice.
Who is 99.9% funnier to me because of The Masked Singer.
Right.
Yeah.
I greatly appreciate him.
And then you guys, I'm sure you recognize Tracy Morgan. So
Yes, absolutely. Very difficult to not recognize Tracy
Scooby
Morgan.
was Frank Welker. I think that was it.
Okay.
Simon
Nice.
Cowell, obviously. The hot cop is Christina Hendricks.
Okay.
Oh, I know who that is. She's also on Good Girls.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. Ira Glass played Ira Glass.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So Ira Glass is in this movie for some fucking reason.
I didn't know what
let's
that
talk about
was.
this whole opening scene.
Oh my
Let's
God.
just jump right into it. So, we open on Scooby stealing some chicken
Gyro meat.
shawarma.
Like shawarma, right?
No, it's a
Gyro.
it's a Euro meat.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And then just rolling it on the ground.
Gross.
Yep.
Gross.
And the police are after him suddenly.
Yes.
And while this is happening, we also kind of cut to a young Shaggy who is just
Depressed
listening
and introverted.
listening to
like
Backstreet Boys.
a weird music device that has weird music apps on it. It's just
I think that it was supposed to be his iPad or iPhone, and I just think that he had his different
like selecting-
playlists.
maybe.
I think that
don't
he had
know.
his different playlists as
nothing
apps.
makes sense on this movie.
Look, it was just a
I
bit to play songs about being lonely
Yes.
and get across that he's
lonely.
lonely.
Right,
and he needs a friend.
And so
And then we have to listen to an entire episode of a podcast that's not our podcast.
So
Yeah, it's not even our podcast.
I can't even believe it. Gross.
Why didn't they look up the best podcast?
Yeah, so they decided in this children's movie that the best way to really, get into it was like opening credits, wasn't it? Isn't this where they he kind of rambled on while
the prologue
opening credits
basically.
were yeah.
Yeah.
So he turns on this podcast and you hear, "Hi, I'm Ira Glass."
Yeah. And there's no way that I don't even know how old he's supposed to be. Like 8,
Yeah.
10?
Yeah.
There's no way that a 10-year-old is listening to that podcast.
But even if he was, the children watching this movie do not give a shit
Exactly.
about who Ira Glass is. They don't
Yes.
know who Ira Glass is. They don't care.
The only reason
I'm 33
Evie knows
and I
what
didn't know who Ira Glass was.
For those of you who don't know, Ira Glass is a podcast host of an NPR show called This American Life. And they basically it's like a story time type thing. Or they do like research and it's kind of like journalism mixed with storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
So not something a child would be interested in by any means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
And his
interested.
voice is like, he's got a very nice voice, but it's like the epitome of if white bread was a voice. That's Ira Glass's voice. And they decide to open the fucking movie with that voice. Why?
Yeah.
So that was the first eyebrow raise from me.
Yeah.
I think that was what I first texted you and was like, what even is this movie?
Yeah.
You texted us that several times.
I did. That was the first time. That was before I started yelling
Was
at all
this
caps.
was the next time when Simon fucking Cowell
That
shows
sure
up?
was it, Thomas. Good call. Good call, Thomas. Yeah.
In his weird, like, uncanny valley rendering of Simon
It
Cowell.
was
Really
so
was Uncanny
Why
Valley.
is Simon Cowell Uncanny Valley rendered in this movie when every single other person in this movie is just a cartoon?
So, okay, before we jump
Before
into
we
Simon,
do that.
because Simon Cowell is a whole can of worms that I gotta get into.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So during this pursuit by cop, Shaggy and Scooby run into each other and meet and kind of bond over their love of stupid food and
disgusting-
ew, hold on a
disgusting
second.
floor
Hold
meat.
on a second. He brings the freaking Euro meat out from the sand.
Yeah.
Okay,
He just
let's.
cuts a chunk off the outside of it. and
Yeah.
they
This
eat
is
it.
gross. I mean, I know it's a kids movie, and I know it's not
well, they even
really
comment on like the sand being in the sandwich
It's
and
gross.
that it's like seasoning or something.
disgusting.
Yeah, gross.
I'm like so grossed out about sand in general. Like when I'm like at the beach and I'm
I
like the
hate
guy.
sand. It gets everywhere.
I hate sand. I'm
It's coarse.
Okay, Anakin, relax.
Is it a Star Wars joke? I feel like guys are Star Wars joking. But in real life, I do when I'm at like when I've left the beach and like there's sand everywhere still, and I'm like, God dang, I thought I got the sand out of everything.
Yeah.
Like I'm the guy that hates the sand.
Let's just talk about how much Nikki hates sand for the rest of the podcast.
So this is the end of the season. Goodbye.
So they meet on the beach and hit it off stupidly, and the cop runs into them. And this is, I will say, this is the one slight laugh that this movie got out of me, was when the cop has them or is asking them for his name because he's like trying to prove that no,
Right.
this isn't your dog. This can't be your dog. What's his
Right.
name? If this is your dog, then what's his name? And he's like, Scooby, because he looks at the bag of Scooby snacks.
Right.
Well, what's his middle name?
Yeah.
Doobie. Last name, Do. And the cop just, and right as I'm thinking, really, we need a fucking full ass name for this dog.
Yeah.
The cop like turns around and he goes, well, if a dog's got a middle and a last name, legally I can't do anything about it. Like, then you're free to go. I don't like it, but it's the law.
Yeah.
He just hops on his bike and goes away. That was like the one chuckle that this movie got out of me, and I'm not proud of it.
I didn't like that. There was another joke that I liked. That's not the one that I
Okay.
liked, though.
Oh.
Okay, well, I'm glad there's going to be variety in our very, very limited
There was one joke
entertainment.
that made me laugh that
Okay.
I overheard
Yeah.
that made me laugh later,
Okay.
and then I bet it's the same one that made
Yeah.
Thomas laugh. I think we laughed at the same thing.
I didn't hear you laugh at all, so I don't know.
Well, that's where you know this is going for this episode, guys. So
Who wants to
then,
take it from here, yeah, please do.
so we go trick or treat, or we become friends. We have like a really awkward bedroom scene.
Yeah.
Like I
The
feel
collar.
really weird in his room, and
Yeah.
I feel like it's a really
I also
weird.
feel like Scooby talks a lot more than he normally
He talks
does
a
in this
lot.
movie. Yeah.
And I feel like Scooby talking was just fine.
And everyone's just
accepted.
okay with it.
Everybody's just fine with talking dog Scooby.
Yeah.
I guess I don't really remember in the TV show if it's like, does everybody hear and understand
I
Scooby-Doo,
don't feel
or
like
is it
they
like
do. I
just
feel
the
like
group,
it's-
or is it
I feel
just
like
Shaggy?
I feel like it's in the show. It's mostly just Shaggy, and then I think once in a while the group hears it,
No, I think the group hears it on the show.
but definitely not anybody
On the
outside
old
of the
show,
group.
I know,
Unlike
'cause I
the
know that now
original
it's
show.
like,
I think the original show that the group hears it.
okay,
I think. I don't
honestly
know.
don't
I haven't
don't
watched
know.
it enough, but I feel like in the show, Scooby doesn't talk like in words as much as he does in this movie,
right,
Yeah.
and everyone's just okay with the
But even
with a completely fully sentence using dog.
right.
But even so, like when they met and like Scooby just starts talking to Shaggy. Shaggy wasn't even like,
Doesn't
whoa,
even bat
you
an
talk?
eye. Yeah,
or
right.
anything. It was just like,
Yeah.
cool.
We're all just okay with the talking
fine
Apparently
with
dog.
it.
dogs
Yeah.
just talk in
Yeah.
this universe.
Yeah.
And so then on Halloween, when the group meets him, he's like, this is my dog Scooby. They were just like, cool. Like, they also were not.
I'm Scoob.
Yeah.
And he just like goes off, has a fucking monologue. And they're like, cool. Seems legit.
I also thought that, like, trying to get the laugh when they're walking before they met the group, sorry, and he was like, oh, it's on the walker, or whatever, like when Scooby was like,
oh, I don't understand
hips.
what that was in reference to.
He was just trying to, like, get
a
a
Happy
joke.
Gilmore reference?
I don't know. It was
I like the line when the kids kind of attack them and throw the candy in the house, and they say, "Don't you know the Halloween is just a marketing thing for big corn syrup?" And then Scooby is like, "Yeah, we're okay with that."
I don't know. It was just all. I don't know. And then I thought that the jokes that they were making about Velma's costume was
Bader
stupid.
Ginsburg?
That was just like,
because again, only adults will understand that.
I thought
there
it
were way
was
too many
kind
jokes
of funny.
for adults.
It was a little bit funny.
It was a little.
Well,
bit
those
funny.
are we gotta throw adult jokes in to
Yeah.
make it funny for the adults that are in the movie theater.
That was like the majority of the jokes,
Right. And then
and all of them were so weirdly dated. Like in 5 years, this is not going to be funny. It was barely funny now.
Yeah.
but then still being like, are you supposed to be Harry Potter? Oh, Slytherin. Like, it wasn't even funny. I was just like, I don't
Also,
think
there's no way that Ruth Bader Ginsburg is not a Ravenclaw.
Right.
So
Sorry. Or a Gryffindor. One or the other, honestly.
Yeah.
How dare you?
I feel like I don't get it still.
she's a Supreme Court justice.
We're only almost done with Harry Potter.
I still don't feel like I know enough about the houses. And I'm the one reading the books.
Oh boy.
The houses don't even mean anything in the movies.
I'm in
I
the
mostly
middle of
understand
Half-Blood Prince, you guys, and this book is the worst book, and I just can't bring myself to finish reading it, everybody.
I know pretty much that Hufflepuff and Gryffindor are the same house. So,
Basically.
just one's nicer.
Oh, wait. I feel like I have another joke about this part. Or no, not a joke. There's no jokes in this movie.
Look, we have very limited notes, so you better use all of the ones you've got.
Oh, when the kids first meet up with Scooby, this is the other note I have before we get to Simon.
Oh, okay.
And the kids are like, nobody should go home without their candy, like the kids say. And then I'm looking at all the kids. I'm like, none of them have bags of candy at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, none of the kids had candy bags. And I
Now that
was
you
like,
mentioned that, I do remember. Yeah.
yeah. And I was like, where's everybody else's candy?
I also thought that Fred's complete, legit suit of armor was a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Where's his helmet?
And you couldn't see his sweet baby face.
Like, commit.
Commit to the bet. All right.
All
right.
They didn't commit to anything in this movie.
So then we montage, and then we go to the cafe, and
And
then the animation looks different to me.
the animation does look a little
Like,
different.
everybody's-
not just Simon Cowell.
No, but like everybody looks weirdly shiny.
yeah.
Do you notice that? Like
Yeah.
everybody's like the girl's hair,
Yeah.
specifically like
I didn't
Daphne's
notice.
hair. I felt like everybody looked weird and shiny to me. I don't know. It was
That makes
distracting
sense.
to me. I don't know. Anyway, so Simon Cowell.
So in the car today when we were discussing this movie.
Without me?
Yeah.
Well, it kind of
It was literally just one sentence because I think I mentioned we were talking about how excited we were to talk about this. And I was like, and I asked her if she had any notes. And I was like, yeah, I didn't actually take any notes because I'm not going to lie, this movie lost me at Simon Cowell walking in.
Yep.
And Nikki goes, oh my God, that's when they lost me too.
I said that's when I grabbed my phone and started to look at Carvana.
Which is interesting because I didn't even notice that you were on your phone.
I
Because I was
stopped
trying to
watching-
pay attention to the
I
movie.
literally was like, this movie is terrible. And I grabbed my phone and that's when I stopped paying attention to the movie. I'm like, this movie is awful. And that's why like when I looked up and they were like on a spaceship and they were suddenly at a circus carnival, I looked at Thomas, I'm like, what the
Oh,
fuck?
you did ask, you're like, so what's the plot of this movie?
I'm like, where are they? Why are they at a carnival all of a sudden?
But here's how bad it is that Thomas didn't realize that you hadn't been watching because even if you are watching, you still don't know the fucking plot of this movie. Yeah, so this is where I checked out pretty hard.
Yep. Jessica said, she goes, and then I went to work on my balloon.
I went upstairs and started making my balloon for the next morning, and I was like listening, and I was kind of like peering over the landing to look at parts.
Wow.
So she wasn't even the
So
same
I'm the only
room.
one that's actually seen the movie here.
Yep. So
This is why Nikki and I took explaining the first half, because this is the only part we really know.
So we
So
thought.
from here on out, Thomas,
All
you're giving us
right.
the scene breakdown.
So tell us what you
All
thought,
right.
and we're just gonna either go, ha 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 ha.
Oh, but guys, so because you guys, it's such a funny joke, you guys, why Simon Cowell is here.
Okay.
So they want to become a legitimate group of some kind.
Yes.
Because just being the mystery gang isn't, paying for a career. So they're
Right.
like, well, let's bring in Simon Cowell to figure out what sort of group we should be.
Yes.
Are y'all... So this is making perfect sense to you guys, right?
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great, because it's so funny. Okay, so so Simon goes through and he's like, well, in any like group or like boy band or whatever, he's like telling them which type they'd be, like the smart type, the sensitive type, and Fred is the tank.
Which doesn't make sense.
The quintessential musical group, element, the tank.
That's when he said that, because later in the movie, when
Yeah.
I did
Simon
briefly
says that.
catch a little bit of information, and Fred was like,
And Fred
I'm the
says, I'm the
tank.
tank.
Yeah.
I thought we were making like D&D references or
Which
something.
Fred in the show is not the tank. He's the trap guy.
Yeah.
Like he makes the traps or he
Yeah.
gets trapped.
He figures out the traps and he makes the traps
Oh.
Yeah.
for all the monsters. He's not anything. He's not even kind of a tank.
Right.
Oh.
And Velma's obviously the smart one.
Right.
And so then he
Yeah.
gets to Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, and he's like, I don't even know, what are you guys? And they get offended and they leave.
Yeah. He says that
You guys, isn't
he
that so
says-
funny?
he says you guys are the weak link because you're just the friends.
Yeah.
And friendship isn't
friendship doesn't
important.
do shit or whatever.
Yeah.
Direct quote from Simon Cowell.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, but do you get it? Like,
I don't get it. Is it
do you get how funny it is?
It's so funny.
Okay, good.
It's
Okay, good, because also that moment when they're talking, I'm like, this whole fucking movie is going to be banking on Simon Cowell, isn't it? Like, Simon Cowell is going to end up being a prominent character.
yeah.
I cannot, I can't do this.
Thank God he doesn't. But
Well, yeah.
he shows up later.
He does show up again.
His uncanny valley face shows up later.
I was like,
but-
he's going to be the one, isn't he? He's going to be fucking the I would have gotten away with it guy.
Yeah.
All right, Thomas. So then what happens?
We go to the bowling alley next, and the little robots show up. Then Shaggy and Scooby get zapped up into the Blue Falcon jet ship thing. And we're on the Blue Falcon thing now.
So is Blue Falcon the first reference to Cartoon Network? Is that the running theme here with the character references? Are they all Cartoon Network cartoons?
What? Is Blue Falcon a real thing?
I'm pretty sure that that's an animated show.
Huh.
Blue Falcon is a character from the 1970s television show who also showed up in Dexter's Laboratory and Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. So when I said earlier that this movie was trying to be meta, that's what for me, that's what it was, is because I kept recognizing these cartoon characters from different universes, and I'm like, why are we trying to shoehorn all these rando cartoon characters?
I didn't get Cartoon Network, so I didn't recognize any of the
Gotcha.
characters.
Okay. My aunt raised me on Cartoon Network, so
Fine.
the TV that I did watch was from Cartoon Network generally.
Yeah, so we spent some time on the Falcon ship thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what
This
happens?
was,
It's really exciting.
Yeah.
And I totally get everything that happens from here on out. So
I saw the joke on the trailer, so it wasn't funny to me when the IKEA joke.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
No.
That one was funny, but it was spoiled on all the funny jokes. The jokes that were actually funny were spoiled in the trailer.
this is why we don't watch trailers.
This is exactly why you don't watch
Yeah.
trailers.
And it's all especially bad with this movie because there's only 4 funny jokes,
And every one of them.
and
was
every
in the
one of them
trailer.
was in the trailer.
Okay. So at what point do we I think I'm jumping way ahead here.
That's okay. Let's just jump around to the interesting stuff. Thomas, you just throw in the interesting things you really want to say.
So, like, 80% of the movie, the mystery gang is split up, and
Like
Shaggy and
90% of the
Scooby
movie,
are
isn't it?
off with
Yes.
the Blue Falcon and his crew.
Yeah, and then we even get a stretch of the movie where Shaggy and Scooby are separated.
Right, and none of them are really all that concerned. It's so weird. None of them are that concerned about, like, meeting back up, but also... I don't really at any point feel like anybody's trying to solve a mystery. They're just kind of like...
All they're doing is chasing Dick Dastardly around.
Yeah, but I don't even think they know and understand that that's what they're doing.
No,
like...
they don't. It's not even a little bit. No, they don't. No.
Because this movie is not...
Like, they're just driving around.
Yeah. They get separated at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And then it's just like 20 minutes of Fred driving the mystery machine to try to meet up with them.
Yeah.
And then they get more separated because they get captured by Dick Dastardly.
Right.
And then at the, like, 3/4 of the way through the movie, they all meet up again because Dick Dastardly shows up and tries to kill half of them and fails.
And
after we meet Tracy Morgan, because
Thomas hates Tracy Morgan, and as soon as his voice, so I was on Carvana looking at vans, and I heard Tracy Morgan, and my ears perked up because I like Tracy Morgan, and I heard Tracy Morgan and I heard Thomas at the same time make groaning sounds. And I was like, oh, Tracy Morgan. Oh, Thomas hates him. And I was like, that really must be Tracy Morgan. So, but I didn't really pay attention except for I noticed he looked like a troll from Frozen. So
I didn't understand why these cave people were in the movie.
Well, the caveman guy is another Hanna-Barbera cartoon reference.
Okay, it was just dumb.
It's all dumb.
Yeah.
So here's a question I have for you.
Okay.
Since you're going to remember the most about the movie.
Uh-huh.
Are we at the carnival yet?
This is, okay,
Past the carnival.
This is going to sound real wild to anybody who hasn't seen this movie. But when does the whole Alexander the Great plotline start coming into play?
There was an Alexander the Great plotline.
The best I can figure...
You paid attention better than I did.
That's a good question. Because... at one point in the whole plot, in quotation marks, of the movie is that Dick Dastardly is trying to find the 3 skulls of the Cerberus so that he can open up a portal to rescue his dog Muttley from the underworld.
Right.
And at some point during the movie, he all of a sudden has one.
Right.
And then all of a sudden the kids care about it.
Right.
And then they go to the amusement park, but Dick Dastardly tricked him into going there and went somewhere else and got the second skull. That's when he tries to capture Scooby because he's figured out that Scooby is the key.
He's the descendant
of Alexander the Great's dog.
Which we knew because Velma said that. Like, I remember Velma saying that at the beginning
But I don't
of the movie.
remember when we learned about that.
So Velma said it. I believe what happened was Velma said it in the car, and then
the robot heard it. Yeah, the robot heard it.
Yeah,
so
it's not clear. They do not do a good job of making it clear how they figure out things.
It's just such a bizarre
premise,
exactly, to throw into this because we've got all the Hanna-Barbera references, which they're just throwing at you like, hey, remember these characters, guys? Remember these adults who are watching this movie? They don't actually amount to anything. None of the aside from Dick and Muttley, none of the characters actually accomplish anything or go anywhere. And so there's that whole plot line going on, if you can call it that, which you can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just don't have any other words for it. And then there's the whole Alexander the Great / underworld thing, which also doesn't make any sense.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So the joke that I laughed at was before this.
Oh, okay.
Is when Fred, Daphne, and Velma are in the mystery machine after the bowling alley analyzing the robot.
Okay.
And they're like talking about Velma's talking about the chemicals she finds on the robot. And it's like, oh, it's cigar smoke and whiskey. And then Daphne is like, ugh, is the bad guy my dad?
See, that joke was in the trailer,
Yeah,
so that
exactly.
joke was
In the
ruined
trailer.
also.
That's a funny joke.
And it
but
made me
was in the
laugh when I
trailer.
saw the trailer.
Yeah, that
Yes.
joke made me laugh in the trailer
Yes.
too.
It's a funny joke, but it was in the trailer, so it was spoiled.
Right.
Oh, that was not the
Yeah.
joke that made me laugh. The joke, I have no idea when it was, so I'll just say what it was. The joke that made me really laugh was when somebody, don't know who, was talking about doing something on the computer.
I love this.
On the internet, and the one guy was like, the last time you wanted to do something on the internet, you thought Tinder was something that sold firewood.
Oh, yeah, it's Dino Mutt is talking to Blue Falcon about his anonymous tip to go to the amusement park to get the skull.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't know that anonymous was not someone's name.
Oh,
yeah.
That's funny.
I did like that one, yeah. I didn't laugh, but I didn't hate it, so therefore I liked it.
And also, when we're on Dick Dastardly's ship, when they're in the prison cell, and Velma's trying to pick the lock, and then we see Daphne like trying to like break things.
Yeah.
And she's talking about how I'm just trying to like if Shaggy and Scooby were here, they would sit on the chair and it would fall and they would hit their head on a secret passage or something, and she was trying to do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's like the one meta thing that they
Yeah.
did in the movie that actually worked for me.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Yeah, that was cute. A cute reference. Boy, this movie.
Anything else? Ratings?
Okay, so somehow he gets all the skulls, apparently. I'm
yeah,
assuming...
he apparently can use the 2 skulls that he has to find the 3rd skull, which begs the question, why hide them in the first place?
Right.
We end up in Athens at the Acropolis for some reason, and then with the skulls, and then
we summon the Cerberus.
We summon the
and
Cerberus.
the thing and the dog and the jello pudding.
And the jello and the pudding.
And, so he gets his dog, he gets Muttley out of the underworld, and then they go off and try to do more villainous things. They just, like, dip. They just leave.
Well, they
They're
go
just, like,
in, he goes in, rescues Muttley, they bring out some gold with them, but the robots turn on them and catch them.
Eventually, yeah, but, like, in the meantime,
Yeah, I don't know. And also the Cerberus dog, which is supposed to be a big, huge threat, is just kind of stomping around, not doing anything.
Right.
Like, nothing seems urgent, nothing seems imperiled, nothing seems dangerous.
Like, he's not destroying the town or anything.
There's
he's
no
just,
stakes.
Like, wandering around.
He eventually does knock over some buildings, but they're buildings that were magically brought here when they brought the Cerberus that weren't actually there.
Right.
It's like he was just destroying stuff that wasn't actually there.
Right.
Like, okay. And there's no people. There was no stakes. And it was just boring.
Right. And they decide they have to fight this fucking dog for some reason. And
And then
the dog's just like, get off me. But he doesn't actually care.
Yeah.
And so there's a terrible action sequence where they attempt to fight, but nobody actually does anything. And then all of a sudden, they realize that the key to returning Cerberus to the underworld is
Scooby and Shaggy together.
Scooby and Shaggy need to be friends together, and then one of them is going to die.
Yes. Completely unnecessary, nonsensical, stupid sacrifice play in a kid's movie.
Completely out of the blue.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be?
Makes zero sense.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Yes, of course it is.
Nobody questions it for a second when Velma is like, one of you is going to have to...
One of you's got to die, sorry.
They're like, dip, I guess.
I guess we're going to fight over it for a second.
Correct.
And then, well, Velma said it, so it must be right.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so they just do that. Like, and there's like this whole moment where they're like trying to fight over which one of them is going to sacrifice themselves.
And then Shaggy wins.
Shaggy Yes, Shaggy wins the Hunger Games. he goes to
The odds were in his favor. And
he goes to the underworld and dies.
Yeah, for like 30 seconds.
For 30 seconds.
And then Velma's like, that doesn't make sense.
She's
well, bam, then he's back.
Velma's the first person who's like, wait a minute, I have to be wrong. Because this would be a weird movie if Shaggy just died.
Yeah. And then, spoiler alert, Shaggy comes back.
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's a kid's movie.
Because friendship. Because friendship.
Because friendship is a thing.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty much it.
That's it.
Then we get the obligatory musical epilogue at the end because it's a kid's movie.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you know what
That's
I thought?
the movie.
You know what I thought this movie was gonna be based on the previews? By the way, is I thought this was gonna be
Like an origin story.
An origin story. I thought this was gonna be how they became friends and how they became.
Yeah, that's what the first 10 minutes was.
Yeah, but it wasn't
I
even
thought that was going to be the whole movie.
But it wasn't even that. It was how Shaggy and
Like, wouldn't it have been more fun if the whole movie was just like a really elaborate mystery, like their first mystery?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be.
That's what the fucking Vampire Island movie on Netflix is. It's just an elaborate episode of the show.
Yeah,
it's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's what it should have been instead of just knocking their first mystery together right out of the way within the first few
and also
seconds.
just like completely disregarding what the show is. The show isn't like a world trotting adventure thing.
Yeah.
It's campy mystery.
Exactly.
I don't like it. We saw Shaggy and Scooby become friends. Cute, I guess. But Velma and Fred and Daphne were already friends. And then we just all ran into each other. Like, I wanted to see how
they're the side characters anyway, so it's fine.
They all met.
No, but I still wanted to see. I wish we could have seen like everybody meet each other.
I would have liked to have seen them all together more.
And maybe they like didn't get along right away.
Yeah, exactly.
But like throughout working together and realizing that they make a great team, they're
'Cause
like,
I could
actually, let's do this. Let's vibe.
Because I could see them, for example, not liking Velma.
Yeah.
Because she's like just
A
the
know-it-all.
smart know-it-all. Just because I know I'm
Mhm.
Velma with my, like when I was a
Right.
kid for sure. Yeah,
I
I
could see
know.
them being hardcore unsure about Shaggy and Scooby because
For sure, 'cause-
honestly in the show half the time they were like, what is your whole deal? Like, why are you here?
I feel like most of the time that's how I feel about Shaggy and Scooby.
I do too, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting also.
Yeah.
And what I wish it had been.
Yeah.
Even if it had been, like, even if they had taken essentially a bunch of episodes of the old show and just, like, crammed it into, like, you know, they solved a mystery and then it led into another mystery, you know,
Yep.
even if they had tried to make it, like, episodes, but in one movie.
Right.
Yeah.
That would have been better than whatever the fuck this
Whatever this
There was no mystery.
No, there was no
They
mystery.
didn't solve a single mystery.
No, this was Nikki shopping for a car on Carvana. Wow. Barely paying attention.
Well, Alexander the Great happened
And
somewhere in the background.
Alexander the Great's dog.
Sorry. Yes, it's
Yeah.
not Alexander the Great. It's Alexander the Great's monster.
So I look forward to being trapped watching this movie for the next month or so with my children.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to try to push the Netflix Zombie Island
That's right.
movie.
I'm really glad you spent $25 on this movie.
I
So glad.
cannot believe it, dude. I cannot believe it.
And I didn't expect to dislike it when we first pulled it up
The
on
trailer made it look funny.
It
Right.
did.
It's
It looked really cute.
They put the only parts that were funny
Yep.
in the trailer.
Mhm.
It looked cute in the trailer, and when we pulled it up to buy it, I said, "Ugh, 50% rating on Rotten Tomatoes." And Thomas goes, "That's not that bad for a kids animated movie."
I
And
feel
was
like for Rotten Tomatoes, 50% isn't that bad.
I feel like it is.
That seemed to me, it feels insanely high.
It seems a little generous. Looking back, yes.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yikes on bikes.
I
All right.
give this movie 0
Ugh.
out of 0 Scooby snacks. Would not recommend, would not watch again. But I'm going to have to because I
Right.
have toddlers.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
I don't have any FMKs because I don't feel like
We
any
don't-
of
I'm
I don't
asking
care.
for ratings right now.
it. But for ratings, I give this movie 1 Uncanny Valley Simon Cowell out of 55 weird bowling ball scorpion thing robots.
Great.
So,
Great. I give this movie
those robots were cute though.
I give this movie 25 human dollars for no fucking reason.
You know what?
And what was it, like an hour and a half, 2 hours of my
It's
time?
an hour and a half.
I gave it that, and I'm not willing to give it any more. So
Yeah.
You know that $20 Zoom class that I paid for and then I got my money back for?
Yeah.
I just spent it on Scoob.
That Zoom class was better than this movie.
It
And that's saying a lot.
That
All
Zoom
right.
class is what taught me how to make my business come back, and this movie did not. So, damn.
So before we wrap up, I will mention one other thing that we didn't get into earlier on, because what I did directly after this movie, because I disliked it so much, and I needed a palate cleanser. I wasn't, you know how some couples like can't go to bed angry, like they have to resolve their fight. I couldn't go to bed like with the rage that I felt for this movie in my heart, and so I needed to watch something different to like clear my mind.
Yeah.
And so I ended up watching the movie that we agreed to watch for our May Patreon, which for our May Patreon, we decided to do my Miyazaki idea and do a Studio Ghibli movie. So we are going to watch Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yeah.
So I watched that. And it was great. 110 times better than, it's a very simple movie, but it's so much better than Scoob. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that we are going to be releasing our May Patreon a little bit behind schedule.
A little bit.
Sometime in June.
It's going to come out in June. It's probably going to come out relatively early in June. Like I've
We're
already...
going to try and do 2 episodes in June to make
Yeah,
up
we're
for
going to
it.
give you 2 episodes in June to make up for the lateness. May just rocked us.
It's super.
We super did not realize how late in the month it was.
And it felt like, and I feel like May was just like, oh yeah, it's like mid-May. And then all of a sudden I was like,
and all of a
holy
sudden,
crap, June is tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're going to be releasing 2 Patreons to make up for it. And then since we are going so casual with this, super cash, we've agreed after June to not charge.
We're going to be suspending.
We are going to be suspending Patreon.
So the 3 of you that are our Patreon members,
we love you so much.
Yeah,
Thanks, Aunt Lynn.
you will
Thanks,
still
Aunt
have.
Lynn.
I believe you will still have access to the episodes that we have released so far.
We'll find out.
But
yes,
we're not going to be releasing any new content on it, and you're not going to be charged.
right. So so that's what's going on with Patreon for this. But I'm really looking forward to talking about Kiki. I think you guys will think it's
I don't know
cute.
anything about it, so we'll see.
I think you guys will think it's cute, and I think Evie will like it if you watch it with her. So I don't know when our next episode will be coming out, guys.
I don't know.
Nope, no idea. Don't even know what it's going to
We'll
be.
see you when we get there.
We'll see you when we see you.
See you on another time. And
Yeah.
if you really, really miss us and you really, really want to hear us sooner and you've been like, hey guys, where are you?
Yeah.
Where are you? We miss you. Reach out to us on social media maybe and just say, hey.
Yeah. DM us.
Slide into our DMs. Comment on our Facebook. Join our Facebook group and, say something.
And badger us until we come back.
Badger us till we come back.
Yeah.
We'll miss you.
Mm-hmm.
But we're probably sleeping.
Hopefully.
We just kind of have to do that
just
whenever
wanna
we
sleep.
get the opportunity.
We really need
Just
to.
wanna
Like
sleep.
right now, I'm giving them the face of it's 11:30 and I have to wake up in 5 hours to do a delivery and I still need to finish building a balloon. So
Yeah, I'm running on.
and Jess
3
is
hours of
tired.
sleep,
She needs to drive home.
I don't have anything else to say.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna go now.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.